The issue of why gender diversity is an issue in the life sciences has really moved from one that is a social issue, something that's nice to do, that seems fair to do, to be an issue that is really one of business strategy. In this global innovation economy, the life sciences sectors are among the fastest growing industry sectors in the world. So their demands, their needs for talent are increasing exponentially, and that means that they really need to tap into the full complement of available talent, and that includes women, it includes people of color. So that's one important issue, is simply where will the talent for life sciences growth come from? I think a second reason that this is an important issue really, again, has to do with business strategy. Innovation is a process whereby the translation of interesting science into commercialization usually is one that requires different opinions and different perspectives. And so women bring different perspectives that are important in the mix. I think when you're thinking about the customer base or your market, as we're thinking about personalized medicine, we're thinking about specialized drugs, it's good to show that women are in the mix. One of the most striking examples that we have today about gender concerns in life sciences is the fact that different diseases manifest themselves differently in men and women, and therefore therapeutics are differentially effective. So having women scientists who are participating in these processes, maybe thinking about these issues from the perspective of women, of course, as well as men, is really important. So I think from a product perspective, a labor perspective, and just the whole process of innovation itself, this is a real strategic issue that we have to pay attention to. What personal experience do I have? And as someone who's really been in the field for my entire career, I will say that I have become quite used to being the only woman and the only person of color, usually in the room. And I've tried to call attention to that. So I began my career in consulting, and so my uniform for work, if you will, tended to be brown and black and navy and gray, dark pantsuits. When I took the role as the CEO of the Life Sciences Center, and really recognizing that one of the things we had to think about in Massachusetts is how do we really make workforce and talent available, I began to dress in dresses and in bright colors, because I was having my picture taken a lot at ribbon cuttings, speaking engagements. And people began to notice that I was the only woman in that picture, which would have been less obvious if I had had on my traditional dark suit. So that, and I guess just also that when I'm out and about and I'm talking to young girls, I like them to see that women in the life sciences can be fashionable. That's always a concern that girls have. That we're interested, that we are creative, we're fun. So those are two of the quick anecdotes that I have. Maybe a third one, if I could add, in terms of women being willing to really step into leadership roles, which is a personal story. I had a chance in the consulting firm in which I worked to really become the divisional head, the managing partner. And I really, at that time, just was not brave enough to step into that role. And I really recommended to the CEO that we hire someone from outside the company. We hired a male. Things didn't work very well. And so the next time I had the chance, I didn't step back. I stepped forward and said, I need to be the head of the division. And I do find that women, when I talk to women in leadership roles, many of them have gone into those roles kicking and screaming. So just a couple of my own experiences as a woman in this field, and some of my own mistakes, and then just some of the things I think we all experience. So in 2008, our then governor, Deval Patrick, along with the legislature, enacted a $1 billion 10-year initiative to transform Massachusetts from a strong biomedical research hub to a strong life sciences commercial hub. And that's been very successful. But one of the things that we realized we had to tackle in the process of that transformation was our workforce. And so the Life Sciences Center and the state, in partners with industry, really began to take a hard look at this. So one, I want to give credit to our own industry association, MassBio, which under the leadership of its female board chair, has an initiative that's focused on gender diversity. And many of our companies, and I think Biogen in particular, deserves a lot of credit for the work that it's doing to move women forward within its own organization and in the field generally. But what the Life Sciences Center in particular, and the Life Sciences Center is the administrator of this billion-dollar fund, has done is to invest in a number of areas. First, in community-based programs that encourage girls to go into science. Things like Science Club for Girls, Girls Inc., the Girl Scouts has a new program that's very focused on encouraging girls to go into STEM fields. Secondly, by supporting women when they are entrepreneurs, so making capital available to female entrepreneurs and being very aggressive in reaching out to female entrepreneurs to make money available to them. And another area is supporting women who are in the field, in their careers. So funding organizations like WEST, funding organizations that really do pay a lot of attention to providing leadership skills and development and coaching and networking, which is really so important. So just a few examples of the way in which the state, together with industry, is looking at not just women who are already in the field, but how do we broaden the pipeline of women who are coming into the field. What can organizations do to improve diversity, and what can we as individuals do? I think that within organizations, making sure that women who are midway through their careers have opportunities, have a voice, have a chance to network, have a chance to get exposure, and to build a culture that is at least aware of biases. Sometimes they're unconscious biases that we have towards hearing the voice of women in leadership roles. I think Biogen, as I said, is a great role model. They have introduced their women leaders to the broader life sciences community and really advocated for those women to come into governance positions. I think as individuals, we as women have a couple of things that we need to learn to do. We really need to learn the skill of disagreeing and saying no and setting boundaries, but doing that in a collegial way. Not that we don't, but we're often reticent, I think, to offer a divergent opinion. We need to be braver about stepping forward and taking on leadership roles for which we maybe feel 80% ready, but have the confidence that we can learn the remaining 20%. We need to be visible. We need to be role models. We need to be mentors. We need to show girls that there are different pathways into the life sciences. You don't have to be a scientist. You can be interested in tech, marketing, finance, law. And we need to network, because we need to really take away this very common excuse that organizations or all-male boards of directors just don't know any women who are ready to step into these roles. So I think that those are some of the things that we can do as individuals, and hopefully individuals within organizations will think about how they also can support some of these behaviors. I think my career advice may be a little surprising. One of the things that I think that women expect in their careers is to be able to have it all. And my experience and my advice to young women is you can have it all, but maybe not all at the same time. I wish that I could eat everything I wanted and stay a size 6, and I've tried that, actually. I tried that experiment. It didn't work. So I think part of it is recognizing that there is a need to prioritize. If family is really key in spending time with children, that's important, and it's fine for that to be a priority. If your work and your upward mobility is important, then it's important that your partner be willing to share in responsibilities or your family. It's important to realize that you need a support system in order to do that. I would encourage young women to understand that it is not just what we know, it's who knows what we know. So the importance of networking and the importance of meeting people, if at all possible, getting mentors and mentored within organizations. As I said earlier, learning the skill of speaking up and being comfortable offering an opinion, and not being afraid to take chances. You have to take risks. You know, life sciences is in and of itself a risky business. We take risks all the time. That's what innovation is about. And so I think that we as women, and young women in particular, have to be comfortable doing that and stepping into leadership roles.